Life on tour can be tough. Long drives, late nights, and endless chaos. But let's be real, it's also the perfect recipe for some of the funniest, most outrageous stories in rock and metal history. From accidental arson to pranks gone horribly wrong, today we're diving into the wildest tour tales from the legends of rock and metal. You want to talk about partying? You want to talk about mayhem? These guys make us look like a church choir. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more crazy stories from the world of music. Let's get started. First up, Black Sabbath. Heavy metal pioneers, masters of the riff, and arsonists? Well, one of them was. Tony Iommi is known for his iconic guitar riffs, but did you know he was also a bit of a pyromaniac? Drummer Bill Ward found out the hard way when Tony decided to set him on fire, as a joke. According to Iommi, setting Bill on fire was his party piece. But one night things got way out of hand when the rubbing alcohol soaked into Bill's clothes. Instead of burning off quickly, Bill went up like a bomb. Tony poured more rubbing alcohol on him, thinking it was all part of the joke. Bill ended up with third-degree burns and needed an ambulance. They say rock and roll is dangerous, but this is ridiculous. Talk about a prank gone wrong. Maybe it's the booze, maybe it's just Black Sabbath. Whatever it is, it's a hell of a story. Just be careful who you light on fire out there, alright? And maybe leave the pyrotechnics to the professionals. Next, let's talk about Deuce from Hollywood Undead. These guys are known for their crazy masks and even crazier live shows, but this story takes the cake. This guy is a party animal, and one night at a festival, things got completely out of control. Picture this, fireworks in the bathroom while he's busy with someone. Yeah, you heard me right, fireworks in the bathroom, during activities. I don't even know how that's physically possible. Meanwhile, his friends were outside lighting firecrackers on someone's sleeping butt, because of course they were. When you're on tour with Deuce, there's no such thing as a dull moment, or a safe one for that matter. Deuce described the scene as Whoopee 2 in the bathroom. And honestly, I can see it. Chaos, explosions, and, well, you can imagine the rest. It's a miracle nobody got hurt, or arrested, or both. I've seen some crazy stuff in my day, but this one takes the cake. It's like something out of a movie, only 10 times more insane. Deuce and his crew, they know how to party. Just be careful if you ever find yourself at one of their shows. You might not make it out alive, or at least not without a good story to tell, and a therapist. Moving on to Testament. These guys are thrash metal legends known for their brutal riffs and intense live shows. But even headbangers gotta ride the elevator sometimes. And when Chuck Billy and Slayer's Tom Araya get in one together, things get a little weird. During the Clash of the Titans tour, Chuck Billy and Slayer's Tom Araya turned a simple elevator ride into a trip to the ER. How? By smashing mirrors and cutting Chuck's wrist, because of course they did. These guys don't do anything halfway. But that's not even the best part. While they were waiting at the hospital, Tom decided to get on a table and yell, "Satan rules your soul," freaking out the poor Scottish locals in the waiting room. I can just imagine the looks on their faces, like, what in the bloody hell is wrong with these guys? Classic metalhead behavior, you gotta love it. These guys are living legends, and they don't care what anyone thinks. They're gonna do what they want, when they want, and if you don't like it, well, too bad. I'm not sure what's more metal, trashing an elevator or yelling about Satan in a Scottish hospital. Either way, it's a hell of a story. Chapter 4. Asking Alexandria, wanted in South America. Asking Alexandria's Ben Bruce has a reputation for destroying hotel rooms. I mean, who hasn't trashed a hotel room or two in their time? It's practically a rock star rite of passage. But in Argentina, his antics almost got him arrested and banned from the country. After smashing everything in sight, the hotel staff didn't want money for the damage. They wanted punishment, and I thought I was a vengeful dude. These guys were serious. When the police grounded their flight, they managed to leave anyway. But years later, when they returned, the hotels had adapted. Their room was stripped bare except for a single mattress on the floor. Argentina wasn't taking any chances this time. I guess you could say they learned their lesson, or maybe they just got better at hiding the damage. Either way, it's a good reminder that not everyone appreciates a good hotel room trashing, especially not in Argentina. So next time you're on tour and feeling the urge to let loose, just remember Ben Bruce and the Great Argentinian Hotel Room Revolt of 2014. Chapter 5. Guns N' Roses. Angry Axel. Guns N' Roses. Frontman. Axl Rose is no stranger to drama. The guy's a legend, but he's also known for his temper. And when you combine that with the pressure of being in one of the biggest bands in the world, well, things are bound to get a little explosive. One time, drummer Steven Adler woke him up by swinging bottles. Now, I'm not saying it was a smart move on Steven's part, but I can understand why Axl might be a little grumpy after being woken up like that. Axl's response? He threw a coffee table, shoved Adler into a fire extinguisher and started punching him. Like I said, explosive. But in true rock star fashion, they patched things up within an hour. Because that's how rock and roll works. You fight, you make up, you rock out. Just another day in the life of Guns N' Roses. I guess the moral of the story is, Don't wake up, Axel Rose, unless you're prepared for the consequences. Chapter 6. Van Halen, On the Bright Side. David Lee Roth of Van Halen had a unique way of cheering himself up on tour, hiring two little people as his bodyguards. Dressed in SWAT uniforms, they doubled as his personal comic relief. I'm not sure what's funnier, the image of two little people in SWAT gear protecting Diamond Dave, or the fact that he thought it was a good idea in the first place. He once said, "Even if I'm miserable, I can look out the door and see a little person in a bath towel holding hands with the girl I was with last night, and I know I'm in rock and roll." Classic David Lee Roth. Only he could get away with something like that. And you know what? More power to him. The man knows how to have a good time. And if that means surrounding himself with little people in SWAT gear, then so be it. Rock and roll is about pushing boundaries, about being outrageous, about having fun. And that's exactly what David Lee Roth did. So next time you're feeling down, just remember Diamond Dave and his miniature entourage. It might just put a smile on your face. And if it doesn't, well then you're probably taking life a little too seriously. Chapter 7. Slipknot, Autographed Anatomy. Slipknot's clown has always been different. That's putting it mildly. The guy's a freak, a weirdo, a total original. And that's why we love him. Fans would bring him dead birds and jars of other gifts because of course they would. What else are you gonna give the guy who wears a clown mask and plays drums in a metal band? But one fan took it to the next level by slamming a pig's heart on the table and asking for an autograph. I'm not sure what's more disturbing, the pig's heart, or the fact that someone thought to bring it to a Slipknot show. Clown's reaction? Total chaos, of course. He's not exactly known for his calm demeanor. Just another day in the twisted world of Slipknot. I guess the point is, if you're gonna go to a Slipknot show, be prepared for anything. And I do mean anything. You might see a pig's heart. You might see Clown do something unspeakable. You might even see me in the mosh pit. Okay, probably not that last one, but you never know. Just be careful out there, and don't say I didn't warn you. Chapter 8. Motley Crue and Ozzy, a match made in hell. Motley Crue and Ozzy Osbourne together? You know it's gonna get disgusting. These guys are the kings of debauchery, the masters of mayhem. They've done things that would make your hair stand on end, and then they'd probably snort your hair. One infamous story involves Ozzy licking up his own urine just to out-crazy Nikki Sixx. Yeah, you read that right. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, licked up his own pee. And Nikki Sixx, the man who died and came back to life, was disgusted. If that doesn't scream rock and roll, I don't know what does. Gross, but iconic. Motley Crue and Ozzy were truly a match made in hell. They were the ultimate party animals, the kings of excess. They lived life on their own terms and they didn't care what anyone thought, and that's what made them so great. They were unapologetically themselves and they didn't give a damn. So next time someone tells you that rock and roll is dead, just tell them about Ozzy and Motley Crue. They'll shut up pretty quickly. Chapter 9. Sex Pistols, Designed for Confrontation. The Sex Pistols were chaos incarnate. They were a middle finger to society, a giant screw you to the establishment. They didn't care about your rules, your morals, or your sensibilities. They were here to make noise, cause trouble, and have a good time. And their manager loved it. He deliberately booked them in rural venues to provoke the locals, because nothing says punk rock like starting a riot in the middle of nowhere. At one gig in San Antonio, things got violent when Sid Vicious swung his bass at an audience member. Because of course he did. The guy was a walking time bomb and the audience was just asking for it. Their manager's plan worked. The chaos became legendary, just like the band. The Sex Pistols were a flash in the pan, but they left a lasting mark on the world. They proved that you don't need talent, skill, or even good music to be successful. All you need is attitude, aggression, and a healthy disregard for authority, and a really good manager. So next time you're feeling angry, frustrated, or just plain fed up with the world, put on some Sex Pistols and let it all out. And that's it for today's Wild Tour Stories. We've had fire, explosions, Satanism, and even a little bit of urine. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic rock and metal content. I've got a million more stories where these came from. Until next time, keep rocking.